Most of us want to give everything to the person we love. And when I say everything, I mean everything. That means also sacrificing our wants, our needs, and sometimes who we are. Because think about it. If you really love them, you should give them everything, right? Isn't it mean to say no when they want something? If you're not offering them anything, if you're not being the person that they want, why would they be with you? They will find someone else. They will find someone that will fulfill their needs. Does any of this resonate with you? If it does, stick around because I'm going to use this video to show you how to overcome this vicious cycle of what has come to be known as codependency and basically overcoming this huge guilt trip that you're putting yourself through and the other person is not even realizing it. My name is Olympia. I have a degree in cognitive neuroscience, and what I like to do, I like to nitpick and dissect that pretty little brain of yours and see what makes it tick, but also what makes you talk. So let's start. So a few signs of codependency real quick, because I'm going to be doing another video on this anyways, is that you rely on external validation, so other people telling you how good you are, instead of self-validation, understanding and knowing how good you are. You usually do more than your own fair share in a relationship. You take things too personally, and you feel mean and guilty when you say no because you love the person and you don't want to disappoint them, right? And lastly, you suffer from pangs of FOMO. What is FOMO? Didn't know either, but I will explain further into the video. Now, codependent behaviors are really rooted in childhood trauma in your early years. Where else? It seems like everything comes from there, right? Check out my video above on signs of emotionally abusive parents if you want to know more about that. But codependency usually goes into cycles. So if you have codependent parents, you're likely that you will also be a codependent person that will attract a narcissist, and it just keeps going. So how do you stop this vicious cycle? And how do you overcome being codependent? Relating to some of these stuff myself, harsh truth time, I don't believe there's a cure for codependency. And for many psychological afflictions, but there is a treatment and there is a way to manage it. So what I love to do is rewire that pretty little brain of yours. Because by seeing things in a different perspective and doing certain exercises, which I will share with you shortly, it can really help you move forward into this basically prison that you've created inside your mind. First thing you need to do, whether it's romantic relationship, friendships, family, doesn't matter, learn the difference between supporting someone and being part of their problem. Now, Catherine Fabricio said something that really resonated with me. Let me know in the comments below if it does to you also. It's like you're jumping into the driver's seat of their life instead of remaining the passenger. But here's the thing, guys. Think about it. If you take that driver's seat and you crash that car, the problem of their life, if you crash that car, it's you who's going to be injured because of their problem. Now, that doesn't sound right, does it? So when a person comes to you with a problem, and instead of you jumping onto this fixing mode, try to discuss solutions with them instead of to them. Another way to overcome codependency is when a person asks you for something and your immediate reaction is, oh my God, I need to do it. I feel guilty. If I want, I'm going to be a horrible person. The person will leave me. So while you're having these thoughts, it's very hard to hush these thoughts. But when you're having them, after that, ask yourself 3 questions. Question number 1, do I really want to do this? Think about it. If a person asks you to do something, do you want to do this? If the answer is no, your partner, if you're in a healthy relationship, should accept that. And if the answer is yes, you're not done yet, ask yourself the next question. Why do you want to do this? Now, if your answer involves your partner and not yourself, that's not a reason. So if your answer involves the fact that I want to make my partner happy, even though I don't want to do it, I'm afraid that if I don't do it, that my partner will leave me, I feel guilty not doing it, that's not you. This doesn't reflect on you. And the third question that you need to ask yourself is, what will change if you don't do what your partner's asking you to do? Will it affect you personally? Or will your partner actually be injured or hindered or affected by the fact that you don't do what they're asking you to do. Sometimes we create this whole scenario that it's about us and that if we don't do it, then we're creating harm to our partner. Everyone's responsible for their own life, including you. So ask yourself those 3 questions and let me know in the comments below if this has helped you, and see, is this actually something that you really want to do? The next thing you need to do and really think about is understand and rationalize if you're suffering from FOMO. What is FOMO? I actually didn't know about this. And when I read about it, it kind of had like a moment because I didn't realize this was actually a thing. FOMO is fear of missing out. So you're always trying to catch up to this person, to their life, to what they're doing, depending on them, because you fear that your absence is going to cause you missing out on some sort of event or some sort of problem they may have and you were not there to fix them. Now, the grass is always greener on the other side. It's always going to be greener. It's always going to seem greener. It's what you do with your side, with your grass, how you nurture it, how you feed it, that really counts. So my question for you guys today, do you suffer from FOMO? Another thing that really helps overcoming codependency is doing things that you love and make you happy. Now, some of you right now are like, duh, but hear me out. When you're a codependent and when you've sacrificed all your wants and needs and cater to the other person because you don't want them to leave you, you want them to love you, you want them to think that you're useful, any of these unhealthy thoughts, suddenly you kind of detach from who you are and yourself, and you don't really remember what you like, and you don't really remember what makes you happy. Because you're thinking, okay, I like comedies because my partner always laughs when we watch a comedy. That doesn't mean you like it. That just means that you like your partner's reaction to something that they like. That makes any sense. So you have to really sit down and think before you met this person, or if it's ingrained from you from childhood, sit down and think, what makes you, by yourself, no one else is with you during this thing, what makes you happy? Is it reading? Is it writing? Is it going for walks? Is it meditating? Is it going out for drinks with friends? All these things will help you overcome codependency because suddenly you're retaining a part of yourself and exploring it. Which basically means also, and this is gonna sound harsh, get a freaking life. So you need to find that fine line between that fine line where you end and the other person begins. And the reason why I say get a life is because relationships are meant to complement your life. They can't be your entire life. You can't expect your partner to be everything to you. First of all, that's a lot of pressure on one person. That's a lot of pressure to put on one person. And second of all, because you're just going to set yourself up for disappointment because no one can be your everything. So aside from the 3 questions that I told you to ask yourself, the other thing you can do, which is going to sound silly, I know, is talk with yourself. Talking with yourself means that you're having a conversation, that you're having 2 different entities corresponding with each other, changing opinion, an exchange of opinions, of feelings, whereas when you're talking to yourself, it's kind of like a lecture. It's kind of like you're reprimanding yourself. Now, this may sound a bit crazy. It kind of sounds like I'm telling you guys to have multiple personality disorder, which I'm not. But we are made up of different parts of ourselves, if it makes any sense. We are made up of different types of people. When you want to do something, you have one little voice saying, don't do it. The other little voice says, go for it. Another little voice says, why don't you do something else? All these little voices derive from different parts of your life, from different experiences. And like I said, codependency can derive from childhood trauma or the way that your parents interacted. So this is going to sound really weird, but have a discussion with your codependent self. Speak out loud. Ask yourself those questions out loud. There is a powerful neurological effect hearing you voice your own problems, picking those words to express those thoughts. So my channel is all about perspective. I say this again and again. I'm here to teach you guys how to mind shift your mindset. I'm gonna change your perspective a bit. You said you want to do everything for that person, right? You want to fix their problems. You want to make everything go away, make their life perfect, make them feel that because you're there, everything's okay, that you're gonna make everything go away. Think about it like this. If you do everything for this person, if you fix all their problems, aren't you kind of making them emotionally handicapped? Aren't you depriving them from their skills of managing and fixing their own problems? What happens if you get hit by a bus the next day? What happens if you're no longer there to fix them? Is it fair to the other person to be left completely unhelped? Ironically, by not helping them, you're helping them, because from then on, they can learn how to take on their own problems instead of relying on you. And here's something that I really want to emphasize. There's a difference between someone relying on you and someone depending on you. Relying on someone is normal. Relationships are partnerships. But depending on someone, being dependent on someone, now that's not really healthy. Because like I said previously, if you cease to exist the next day, what's going to happen to that person that you love? What's going to happen to that person that you gave them everything? Now, check out my video above that very accurately is titled, "If you give them everything, they probably won't love you." So you guys can understand the difference between sacrifice and compromise, which are very important and very hard to decipher in codependent relationships or people suffering from codependency. Now, hopefully these exercises have helped for you. I know they've helped others that are dealing with codependency. If you like what I said, don't forget to smash that subscribe button, give me a huge thumbs up, make mama algorithm love me, and ring that bell so you guys get notified when I make new videos every Thursday. And that's it, folks.